my understanding that that particular conversation was with you. Who was that message to, if you can reveal that?
I don't think I can.
Just please swing at me. If you're gonna swing at me, dude. Let me know, because I got files on top of files to swing back at.
I'm going to use this video to address the allegations made against me.
Now our next story of today comes from the YouTuber Pyrocynical. So I'm sure many of you guys know that over the last month or so, Pyro has been in a lot of controversy.
It's been 4 years to get justice, but I did interview the underage French girl.
This is categorically untrue and a complete lie.
There is a long history of degenerate, unjustifiable behavior from Pyrocynical. This story is far from over.
Pyrocynical is one of a rare breed of YouTubers that has transcended genre and built a die-hard following who enjoy all of his videos, regardless of topic. He's been creating content for a very long time, and he's made everything from MLG montage parodies to meta commentary videos to 2-hour-long reviews of obscure video games and everything in between. But Pyro has been accused of some very serious allegations during his years on the platform. It seems like as much as he tries to avoid it, controversy follows him like a shadow, quietly tiptoeing behind in the darkness, threatening to overtake him when he least expects it. I want to find out where the lies end and the truth begins. So let's take a look at the evidence together and find out what's really going on here and what ultimately makes Pyrocynical uncancelable.
I think it's quite obvious what I'm actually worried about. I didn't want the public to find out that I was a complete degenerate.
Our story starts all the way back in 2014, with a boy from England named Niall uploading a Breaking Bad montage parody meme about roof pizza. This was a golden age of YouTube, when a lot of the stars of today were getting their starts, editing Doritos, Mountain Dew, and the intervention from Modern Warfare 2 over clips of just about anything. It didn't take Pyro long to thrive in this jungle and start building an audience. After just a handful of videos, Pyro uploaded what would become his first viral hit, MLG Teletubbies. This video went absolutely viral, and by the summer of 2014, Pyro had surpassed 30,000 subscribers. But Niall's innocent start as an entertainer would soon be cut short by feuds, allegations, and mysterious figures bent on destruction at all costs. Enter Keemstar. Daniel Keem is the kind of guy willing to stir up trouble even if there's none brewing on its own. If something bad is happening on the internet, you can bet he's inserting himself into the situation somehow, like a bootleg electrical cord with 2 pointy ends. Whether they know it or not, somebody's getting zapped. In April of 2016, Pyrocynical uploaded a video called Keemstar and Tobuscus Rant, where Pyro talked about a recent video Keemstar had made.
So with this video in question, Keemstar is reporting on an allegation. Some girl made a Tumblr post basically saying how Tobuscus was extremely manipulative, abuseful, and tried to rape her. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with Keemstar uploading this video about Tobuscus. He is in every right to do so. This girl made this Tumblr post public, so Keemstar has every right to show it on the Drama Alert show. But honestly, in my opinion, what I think Keem should have done in that video is gave some kind of disclaimer that these are allegations and you shouldn't be going and flaming on Toby's channel. Now obviously this isn't required for Keem to do this, you know, he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to, but it would definitely increase his credibility as a neutral news source if he were to do that, and a lot of people would probably respect him more.
That was all there was to it. Pyrocynical criticized the way Keemstar reported on something in a pretty level-headed and mature way. He gave respectful and constructive criticism on how he thought Keemstar could make his channel more legitimate and respected as a news source going forward. And Keem took Pyro's advice, thanked him for the tip, and started putting a disclaimer on all his videos telling his audience not to hate brigade the subjects of his videos anymore. Or at least, that's what would have happened if Keemstar didn't thrive on the attention from being the internet's favorite commentary villain. After Pyro posted this video, Keem saw red.
Hey, I got some YouTube advice for you. Stop copying people. How about that, Pyro? Stop copying people. Because if the type of videos that Leafy makes becomes unpopular, you're gonna be left opening up surprise eggs.
Keemstar treated Pyro's video as a personal attack and started attacking Pyro himself by calling him a Leafy clone. He also attacked Pyro's fanbase, saying that they were all furries, and tweeted several unreleased pictures of Pyro's face in response to tweeting pictures of Keemstar. Pyro hadn't been using his face in his own videos at the time, so this came as somewhat of a shock to some people. Keem also repeatedly made the claim that Pyro didn't get his okay to make the video.
You could contact me with that at any time. You didn't hit me up privately. You didn't share this opinion with me. No, you make a video criticizing me. All right, bro, you're a fake piece of shit. And if you swing at me, I'm gonna swing much harder back.
All in all, Keemstar made over 15 Twitter videos attacking Pyro in a single day. Keem also went on livestream and made this claim.
Pyro legitimately invited a large YouTuber to go to a furry convention. Then Pyro legitimately sent him pictures of Pyro in the furry suit with his head like half off. It was Pyro in the furry suit with his head half off. I don't have the photo. I don't have the photo.
But he didn't stop there. Keem would make another Twitter video, but this one was different. Keemstar dropped a bombshell allegation.
Oh, and Pyro, do you remember those YouTubers that you used to be friends with before you blew up and like them off? You know how they've been contacting me saying that you've been dating some like 14-year-old French girl and shit? Just please swing at me. If you're gonna swing at me, dude. Let me know, because I got files on top of files to swing back at.
Pyro would go on to respond with a video of his own on YouTube in June. One of the first things Pyro noted was that since Keem was a public figure, a YouTuber, he didn't need his permission to make a video about him. Pyro also pointed out that Keem seemed to be massively overreacting. Pyro questioned why Keem's reaction was so over the top when all Pyro had done was suggest that he put a disclaimer on his videos to keep people from hate brigading. Another point that Pyro made was regarding Keem posting his face all over Twitter.
This was a complete invasion of my privacy. Fortunately, I look a lot less like an extra from Orange is the New Black nowadays, but still, Keemstar invaded my privacy. Some of these pictures never left my personal Facebook page, so I was then forced to close my Facebook account, knowing that people like Keemstar were willing to go so low as to leak private pictures of individuals just to get back at them.
But the biggest bombshell was saved for last. Pyro addressed Keem's allegation that he had been dating an underage French girl.
Keem is now trying to spread even more bullshit, saying that I'm dating underage girls and saying outright on stream that I'm a
Pyro was trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl from France, all right? That he was technically like a or weirdo or something, right?
This story is total bullshit. I know exactly the 3 individuals who told Keem and even got in a Skype group chat with him. Unfortunately, I can't name these twats because that's exactly what they want, attention. But in case you don't believe me, I have a DM conversation between one of the individual's ex-girlfriends who's shown that he actually has no idea what he's talking about and he's literally just making stuff up to spite me.
Niall also pointed out that Keemstar's allegations had inconsistencies and holes, like a leaky ship in troubled waters.
14-year-old French girl and shit? 14-year-old French girl and shit?
Now, if any of you didn't notice that, he just deliberately lowered the age. Now, originally, this alleged girl was 15, and now Keemstar has lowered the age to 14. And guess what? Later on stream, he lowered the age again to say the girl was now 13, and on top of that, basically insinuating that I was a So this man has lied about the age of this girl on 2 separate occasions, and knowing Keemstar, this girl will probably be an embryo by next week.
To close the video out, Pyro called Keemstar's overall trustworthiness into question, asking what else on Drama Alert might be staged, and criticizing Keemstar's habit of making allegations, and when challenged on them, saying that he's just repeating what he's been told and not making the allegations himself. The response to Pyro's video was generally positive, and Drama Alert saw a slight drop off in views and a massive dislike raid as a result. Interestingly enough, Keemstar didn't post about this feud on his main channel Drama Alert. He kept all his responses in Twitter videos and on livestream. Was it because he didn't consider this feud important enough to go on his main channel? Or was it a calculated move to shield his growing empire from repercussions of his own personal actions? In any case, this whole slew of allegations fizzled like a burnout light bulb. For a time.
I haven't had any conversations remotely resembling this for the past 3 years. But of course, I still did, and still kinda do hate myself for it.
For the next couple of years, Pyro's content kept flowing, evolving, changing, and his channel grew to hundreds of thousands and then millions of subscribers.
So guys, we did it. We reached 250,000 subscribers.
His video topics morphed too. covering everything from commentary on other YouTubers to trending topics, games, and movie and TV reviews. The controversies of Pyro's past felt like distant noise, not even memories, like a dream you can't remember. But then on October 29th, 2020, a tweet would change everything. A user on Twitter named Ivory Rasmus tweeted, "Pyrocynical groomed me, and I have screenshots to prove it. I've been sitting thinking about this non-stop, being angry, confused, and sad that I've had to accept this since I was 15, but I never said anything because I felt powerless." What he sent ranged from drawn not safe for work to fetishy YouTube videos, and he'd asked me to compile for him using tags that he liked on certain websites. At 15, I obviously did it because he's pyrocynical. I was just happy to be talking to him, and I was trying to continue that. I have Discord screenshots going back 4 years proving all of this, and I don't know if I should post them here, but I may. Either way, I'm done sitting here being quiet about it when I know mad people went through the same but are extremely traumatized and scared of talking about it. Ivory then posted the screenshots that were mentioned, but they weren't exactly enough to get the majority of people to buy into the tale. Ivory's account was compelling, but without concrete evidence, most people online were unwilling to believe the claims at face value. The screenshots Ivory posted were heavily redacted and edited, which people were skeptical of, and even more confounding was that the user Ivory claimed to be pyrocynical was a deleted Discord user. Technically, it could have been any deleted Discord profile having conversations with Ivory, and the public wouldn't be able to tell one way or another. Ivory had answers for these concerns, saying that they censored the messages because the content was both graphic and personally embarrassing, and the next day would post a twit longer giving more detail. In it, Ivory posted videos scrolling through the conversation with the deleted user that was allegedly pyrocynical, proving the still images hadn't been photoshopped. Ivory also posted a video scrolling through a conversation in Twitter DMs discussing the situation with someone Ivory claimed is Pyro's current girlfriend. After checking out her profile on Instagram, this does seem to check out. In the rest of the twit longer, Ivory said that they were not doing this for clout or attention, but to bring attention to Ivory's allegation that Pyrocynical had abused his power to have inappropriate conversations with fans, including minors. But detractors to Ivory continued to state that Ivory hadn't really proved that it was Pyrocynical in the conversations, just a deleted Discord account, and a big objection was that no grooming had actually occurred, just inappropriate conversations. According to the Oxford Dictionary, grooming is the action by a pedophile preparing a child for a meeting, especially via an internet chat room, with the intention of committing a sexual offense. Ivory would then go on YouTuber Tommy C's podcast on October 31st, just 2 days after posting the allegations on Twitter. Tommy asked Ivory specifically about the use of the word grooming.
How were you groomed? Because you don't need to be groomed for this to be wrong. Let me tell you something right now. If this this conversation itself, you know, assuming it took place, and it's looking like it did, is completely inappropriate for an adult to have with a child. But the grooming thing, that brings it to a whole new level. I mean, now we're talking about people that are, you know, not just having a dirty conversation with an underage person, but plan to do something about it. I mean, is it really fair that you use the word grooming? And if that's true, if you feel that's true, where was this going?
I'm not like, I don't know.
Did somebody tell you to use the word grooming?
I was in a call with my friend when I like typed it out, and I typed like, I remember I typed that and asked like, is that okay? Because like they know about this, and that was I got a yes for that. So
yes, because it reads more like a YouTube like thumbnail.
So the allegations seem to have shifted from grooming to an adult having inappropriate conversations with a minor and sharing lewd art back and forth. Still a very serious allegation, and the internet started reaching a fever pitch, waiting for Pyro to respond. And they waited and waited and waited. Many people were sad and jumped ship from Pyro's channel, leaving comments on videos both old and new. On November 10th, Pyro would make a post on his subreddit addressing the allegations. He unequivocally stated that the accusation of grooming was 100% false and incredibly irresponsible, going on to say that he did take part in weird and distasteful conversations with others in the past, and it was careless of him not to consider who was behind their roleplay. But he reiterated that the exchanges never amounted to anything more than fantasy roleplay. Nothing more. Pyro then linked the Tommy C clip where Ivory confirms this. Pyro went on to say that all of their conversations were fully consensual and reciprocal, something his girlfriend also appeared to argue in the video Ivory posted. Pyro went further to allege that Ivory never disclosed their age, and had even lied about it in the past. Pyro also shared a screenshot where another individual had reached out to Ivory to apologize for any harm they may have inadvertently caused, to which Ivory replied, "No, you're fine, I don't care." Pyro questions why Ivory is unaffected by role-playing with others in the past, but publicly singled out Pyro on social media. And if Ivory is as angry and confused as he claims to be, Pyro asks why have they been in friendly contact with him as recently as a couple of months prior. Pyro shared Discord messages between them to prove this. Pyro closes his message by saying he just wants to clear his name and asks fans not to send any negativity to Ivory. But the recurring nightmare Pyro just couldn't shake was far from over. On December 1st, a YouTuber named Turkey Tom posted a video called Pyrocynical's Lie, setting the record straight.
If you ask any old YouTuber what the truth about the pyrocynical allegations are, it's likely that they'll tell you that they are mostly fabricated, and that his accuser is a clout-chasing hack. Comment sections across the site and Twitter threads alike will call this Slazo 2.0 and cite it as yet another example of these false allegations. And these people wouldn't be wrong. What they don't realize is that the one making the false allegations is them. Not only that, but Pyrocynical is a liar.
In this video, Turkey Tom claims that Pyro's Reddit post didn't prove much of anything. He pointed out that a couple of the people who came out claiming Ivory had lied about their age later apologized to Ivory for saying that. Tom goes on to claim that the DMs that Ivory posted with Pyro's girlfriend Ida prove that both Pyro and Ida knew that Ivory was underage at the time, with Ida saying Pyro would have been 18 or 19 at the time and Ivory would have been 15 or 16. Tom also asserts in this video that the evidence Pyro posted on Reddit was no more credible than the evidence that Ivory had posted. From Tom's perspective, Pyro's post hadn't changed much of anything. Tom goes on to criticize the commentary community for labeling Ivory a clout chaser. This video started to gain traction and turn public opinion against Pyrocynical. 9 days later, Tom posted another video. This one was called The Pyrocynical Files Plus New Leaks. Tom and some others had been busy, compiling a Google Doc of what they claimed was evidence proving Pyrocynical was completely guilty. The title screen of the video reads, "Proving Pyrocynical's Guilt." Tom shows screenshots of Discord conversations allegedly between Ivory and Ida, Pyro's girlfriend, where Ivory mentions the fact that they are a minor. Tom goes even further, asserting that the DMs prove that Pyro was seeking a relationship with Ivory. This is a massively heavy claim that will require substantial evidence to prove.
Well, it gets worse. Here, Ida clearly says that she doesn't think it is unrealistic for Pyro at age 19 to be in a relationship with Ivory at age 15.
Ida clearly says that she doesn't think it is unrealistic for Pyro at age 19 to be in a relationship with Ivory at age 15. When the person Tom is claiming to be Ida clearly says on screen, "I don't know if he would actually be in a bi relationship." In my opinion, Tom seems to have interpreted this completely backwards, saying the exact opposite of what the messages on screen say. But with a title like that, we can rest assured that the content of this video is 100% fair and balanced. Tom goes on to assert that Pyro was seeking a relationship with Ivory using Ida as some kind of broker, all based on this Discord conversation with a deleted user. But many people were on Tom's side, and a growing call came out for Pyrocynical to make a full video addressing all of this once and for all. Meanwhile, Pyro's channel was bleeding subs. Just 8 days later, on December 18th, Pyrocynical posted a video on his channel called My Response. He addresses the Google Doc that Turkey Tom compiled.
This document makes, insane assumptions based on limited and broken evidence. It's not hard to dismantle it, it's just annoying that I have to be the one to do it.
He went on to recap the entire situation, going all the way back to the time his conversations with Ivory started. He admitted to taking part in all the degenerate furry roleplay, but reinforced the statement that it was purely fantasy and never led to anything in real life.
Now it turns out my accuser, Ivory, one of the people that I've had these conversations with, was 15. That is 3 to 4 years younger than I was. It was entirely my responsibility to verify his age before having these conversations, and the fact that I didn't, that is so incredibly negligent of me to do so. I may have been young myself, but still old enough to know better. But let me be very clear. I had absolutely no idea that he was 15.
Pyro then goes point by point, dismantling the Google Doc.
Somehow Ivory never mentioned his age, and no one else mentioned his age in the presence of Pyrocynical outside of all these clear instances, even once. So here they're trying to make it seem impossible I wouldn't have known his age, or had to do some kind of insane mental gymnastics to never find out. But if you look at the DMs Ivory provided himself for this document, you can see that he's confiding with Ida about age being a problem. Keep in mind as well, I was not in a relationship with Ida until about mid-2019. This document claims it as soon to be, but like, it's a whole 2 years before we actually start dating, and 2 whole years before this conversation took place. I mean, we both talked before, but we weren't close. She had no reason to confide with me with someone else's private information. If it helps for context, because we're being so open here, I'm straight, IRL, like I have no interest in guys. This is just purely like a weird fantasy, and it does not carry over into the real world whatsoever.
He also goes on to say that Ida's DMs to Ivory are inexcusable and that they came from a place of emotional distress. He also got colossal as crazy to voice some of the roleplay. Pyro was terrified before that the public would find out about his weird fetishes. Pyro went on at the end of the video to apologize to Ivory and anyone else he did roleplay with, acknowledging that even if it seemed consensual and reciprocal at the time, it wasn't his place to decide that. This video was received as a definitive clearing of Pyro's name by most of his fanbase. Turkey Tom's previous 2 videos were dislike bombed and spammed with negative comments. Pyro's ability to clearly and succinctly answer all of the allegations, along with his willingness to be vulnerable about his embarrassing past, seemed to have won over most people, but the battle wasn't over just yet. 5 days later, on December 23rd, Turkey Tom would upload his 3rd video on the subject, titled Responding to Pyrocynical. In it, Tom claims Pyro's response was disingenuous and that he's moving the goalposts. Tom also goes on to infer that Pyro's involvement of others in his roleplay is insidious and shouldn't be ignored, but Pyro had already apologized for that at the end of his video. This video by Tom got the most dislikes of any of the 3, and he lost about 15,000 subscribers, but the shadows of controversy just wouldn't stop stalking Pyrocynical. In March of 2021, Keemstar claimed to have found the underage French girl who was rumored to have dated Pyrocynical all the way back in 2016. Much like in years past, Keemstar kept this information off of his YouTube and posted the interview on SoundCloud. In the interview, the girl says nothing happened in real life, but she does claim that they were e-dating for about 2 weeks. She also says that they weren't sharing inappropriate photos of each other, but just had simple conversations about games and other normal things. This did not get a lot of traction for obvious reasons. Even if Keemstar and this girl could prove that these things actually happened, having safe for work DM conversations with someone for 2 weeks and then stopping isn't enough to call it grooming or anything else really. Many people in the comments of the Boblax video said it just seemed like the interview was about Keemstar trying to beat his chest and get revenge on Pyro after all these years, if nothing else. Which brings us to the present day. Even though the allegations against Pyro have been more serious than ones against other creators who survived cancellation, Pyro has paved his own path through these controversies in his own way. Even though his content, his personality, and tastes have changed throughout the years, he genuinely comes off as a trustworthy person, someone who just wants to make entertaining videos. When he's done questionable things, he's apologized outright. Even if his words don't convince everyone, the majority of his fans in the YouTube sphere he exists in naturally want to believe him. Whether you think he's a saint or a crook or somewhere in between, you have to admit that he's convincing, and the evidence seemed to suggest that he has a track record of telling the truth in an ocean of lies, confusion, and backstabbing, and that is what makes Pyrocynical uncancelable. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably also like my uncancelable video I made about JSchlatt and 2Mad. If you want to keep up with me or send me video ideas, smash that follow button on Twitter @JabroniTV, and as always, thanks for watching, stay weird internet, see you next time.